just a hack. He's just an absolute hack. And he gets his ass kicked by his teammates every week. It's just, it's terrible. It's just terrible.
Welcome back to another episode of the Believe in FCS Football Podcast. I'm Joe DeLeone, joined by my former teammate, former roommate, Mr. Sean Anderson. We are back recording our positional ranking shows. Sean is back and available to tape. Hope you enjoyed the two coaching interviews that we did. I would like to give a quick shout out to FCS Nation Radio for saying happy birthday to me faster than Sean did. Sean, how are you doing today?
I said happy birthday to you.
You said at 5 o'clock. They said it in the middle of the day. Understandably, I slept till 1, but we're doing the
I said happy birthday to you. You ask me silly questions before the show goes on, you get silly prizes. That's what happens.
I get the glasses because you're in. This is silly, goofy, Sean. This is the.
No, it's not. Right now. No, it's not.
Seems like it.
There's no silliness or goofiness going on here.
You're just trying to deflect from the fact that you didn't.
I wished you a happy birthday.
You waited
the year before. I waited until 10:30 at night.
You waited until 5:30 to say happy birthday to Fire and I in 6 the same hours. Group chat.
Well, you both have the same birthday.
Yeah, but that's. I'd like to think that I'm a closer friend than Jake Fire is.
You are. I killed two birds with one stone.
You're a terrible person.
I also, what do you talk? I gave you an Instagram story post.
You picked.
You suck. No, it's a good picture.
No. You picked the worst picture. That
I don't know what you're talking. No, that's a good. I got wait.
That's a good. That's a good picture of you.
You think that's the worst picture I have of you?
One of the worst. That's the heaviest I've ever been. It's. The reason why that picture is so
I'm not going to let
up.
you live down the heaviest you've ever been. I'm currently the heaviest I've ever been, so you're not letting me live that down ever.
There's a reason why that picture is so effed up because it doesn't look like you took a picture of me when I was caught off guard. It was a picture that was supposed to be well-intended, so it looks like it could possibly be recent because I haven't posted anything. Mm-hmm. So it makes me look obese, which I am.
It doesn't.
60 pounds lighter than that right now.
God.
So it does make me look obese. And don't shake your head at me.
That's a big number.
Colin, I'd like can we get a poll this week? Is Sean a bad friend for one waiting until 5?
No,
and
I'm not. I wish you. I don't
picture of me,
dude. No, I don't. I don't post people for their birthdays. I don't. Okay. I don't do that. I posted you.
Colin said happy birthday to me.
What does he have going on?
He didn't. I would like a poll from Colin, though.
Sure, make a poll for Colin if I'm a bad friend for wishing you a happy birthday, remembering that it was your birthday, and then also giving you a nice little social media post and tagging you.
But you did the. Never mind.
What I do? What did I do?
Bare minimum for those things.
What did you need from me?
I'm not asking for anything. I think a text you earlier than 5.
Angry grandma. What did you need from me?
I didn't need the social media post because, again, it was a bad picture of me. I'm not.
Hey, did you have a good birthday? Did you go out and have some free time and have a good time? I've worked my last 4 birthdays. No birthday talk.
That's fair.
How good is your birthday going?
That's fair. Sean,
jackass.
We're talking wide receivers today. We're talking the best FCS wide receivers. We've got some good info to back some of these because we've got some NFS grades, which is the scouting service. But we're going to talk a little bit about these draftable guys. But before we get to that, Sean, do the read.
Yeah, for the smart people out there, listen up. For the smart people who just have to be smarter than me, our partners at BetOnline continue to be the #1 source for all of your betting needs and sports info. Find all of the latest odds, news, and sports developments, including this year's basketball championship finals, the NHL hockey conference finals, Major League Baseball, the latest fighting news, and even next season's early NFL futures. If you're smart, place a bet. Tell me what you're placing. I'm not going to take it, but I'm going to watch you win money because of my hubris. That's what you're going to do. You're going to say, hey, here's a good, reasonable bet. Why don't I tell Sean about it? He'll take it. I won't, and I'll lose money, and you will win money because that's how it works. Head to the website to use your mobile device to sign up today to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Just use our promo code BLEAV, that's BLEAV, to get the bonus and get into the action. BetOnline, where the game starts. Gambling, where Sean's misery starts. But for you all who are smart and adept and can make a conscious decision on a bet, do it.
I finally won a baseball bet. I won. I bet on the Red Sox last night. It hit. They beat the Athletics. The odds were not great, but it hit.
What was that? -230.
Yeah. They were better earlier in the day, and I waited too long. I messed up. Like usual, if I'm going to win it, it's not going to be actual, good money. But
I just
it is what it is.
lose. I'm so ice cold.
Stop betting.
Hate baseball. Never.
What I usually do is I try to completely empty my bankroll, and then when I'm completely out of money, then I stop betting, and then a month later I get the itch, and then I start doing it again.
Yeah.
The
just make sure you use Bet Online.
Yeah,
betonline.ag.
Use betonline.ag. I know that's where I use. Sean does not.
You're the worst broadcaster I've ever met.
Wide receivers. Yeah, that's the goal. I mean, should we put that on our shirts?
You're the worst broadcaster I've ever met. There's no kayfabe with you. There's no wall to this. All the listeners need to understand. There is no wall that you're not privy to.
Yeah.
There's never been one. We need one. We don't have one.
We give inside access that no other show will ever provide.
There's no bits. I'd love to do bits. I can't do bets with Joe because he can't handle a bit.
That's not true.
You can't handle bits.
No one does bits. No one's gonna. Whatever. We're not getting into this right now.
Please, yes.
We're talking FCS football.
Yeah,
can we talk about FCS football?
Maybe that'll cheer me up a little bit.
6 minutes in, I'm gonna cut the whole first 6 minutes because we
Perfect.
We'll get a comment that's complaining that we wasted all this time. So, our elite tier receivers, we have a couple guys that all went over 1,000 yards last season, justifiably were very dominant. There's one guy I want to single out that I think separates from the rest of the group before we get to them.
Okay.
Jaxon Janke from South Dakota State. Last season had 1,100 yards. He had 5 touchdowns. His stats were not the best amongst the group, but he undoubtedly is the best prospect. And he was the only guy that I know of that has a draftable grade from the FCS at the wide receiver position. Now, there are a ton of guys that left and transferred up. Like Lawan Winningham was one of them.
Yep.
Or was it Tyler Hudson?
Hudson is getting like high praise. When I was cutting,
one of them transferred to Louisville.
Yeah, when I was cutting the Louisville coach, that's not Satterfield, is it? When I was cutting the Louisville coach for work, high praise for Tyler Hudson. And he was saying that Hudson came in and was making an immediate impact and is expected to make a huge impact this upcoming season.
Yeah, justifiably. So, like, we're losing guys like him. And we can't include some of these JMU receivers because they're no longer a part of the FCS.
Sure.
But Janke is going to be someone drafted on day 3. He is very, very underrated. And I think in the draft sphere is going to start to get more recognition for how good he is. He's not going to have a Christian Watson type meteoric rise, but this is somebody who's going to step in and have a contribution at the next level. I knew who Janke was, obviously, because we got to see him and his brother. But Ryan really put me onto him and got my ears saying that he is very, very good. And I have the NFS grade to back it up.
Now, nobody's going to say that South Dakota State hasn't been a bit of a factory in the last couple of years. They have been for NFL draft prospects. They have been a factory. I can't go all in on that because he's not my favorite guy out of the elite tier. I know he's got the grade and he's draftable and he kind of fits it a little better. I like it. He's got a big body. He's a little bit of a thicker receiver in the midsection and chest, which I think helps him with durability. It doesn't look like it costs him any speed, very solid hands, all of that. But I don't think he's my guy, Joe, personally. I mean, not that you're asking, but my guy would definitely be Tyrone Scott, I believe. I think that he is, that's my guy.
He's okay.
Okay. Well,
not as good as Janke. He's not as good as Janke. I think Scott is great, but I think that Janke separates himself, and there's a lot of buzz behind him to support.
I'm not hating, but I would disagree in separation.
Okay, I think that the scouts that have
they get it all right.
Extensive tape.
They get it
over
all correct.
The 5 minutes you watched of Scott. Yes, let's.
I'm sure they get it all right.
Yes, sure. The remaining guys though that deserve some recognition. Xaiver Gipson from Stephen F. Austin, who had almost 1,400 yards and 14 touchdowns last year. He returns with Trey Self, who we talked about on the quarterback show. Taylor Grimes from Incarnate Word had 87 receptions for 1,100 yards and 15 touchdowns. No Cam Ward. His head coach is gone, so there are some question marks there. Jalyn Witcher, Presbyterian, transfers to Delaware. 80 receptions, 1,100 yards, and 12 touchdowns at Presbyterian for the Blue Hose. And then lastly, Sean's guy, Tyrone Scott from Missouri State, 66, 111. 1,110 yards and 8 touchdowns. I don't know why I got tripped up by that.
Yeah.
But all these guys, highly productive. I think out of the group, the one I'm most intrigued by is Witcher, because he was playing for a Blue Hose team that wasn't very good on a rinky-dink little grass field in Texas, and now he is going to be playing for a very, very good program with Coach Ryan Carty, who we got to hear from, who we know is a very, very talented coach.
Yeah, Witcher is. I like the way that he tracks the ball. He's never pulling his head away from it when it's coming to him. Pretty good speed, pretty good hands, all that. But the one thing that stuck out to me was just the way you could tell that he was really focused on making the catch first and then going, and it's either in the end zone or he's going to keep on running with it. I really like the way that he tracked the ball in the air. I mean, all these guys are pretty good. I have positive thoughts on all of these guys. I like that Gipson is coming back and is still paired with Trey Self, because I thought their connection was very strong. And I thought he was I didn't find anything super distinguishable except for the fact that he's a good runner. When he gets the ball in his hands, he's running good. He's not all over the place, not out of control. Definitely fast enough. But this is my analysis and not the draft. I would say snobbery that I'm getting from Joe DeLeone today. I don't know when this changed. We all know that that's not my approach, but Joe is slowly shifted towards becoming a little more of a snob, but I think that's why our partnership works here. Grimes was okay, I thought. From the elite class, he was probably my out of the 5, he's probably sitting at 5 for me. And without having Cameron Ward there, that's going to hurt. It just will, for reality's sake, it's not going to help him by any means. Pardon me. Just it was getting rather dark in my room.
Wait. Where did that light come from?
My window.
Oh, okay. For a second, I almost had an aneurysm, because if you had a light this whole time and you weren't using it, I would get in the closest vehicle I could find, and I would drive down there and I would punch you.
I'm sure you will. Oh, now you're calling the fist fight shots.
Yes.
Now you're determining the next fist.
Yes.
Well, I couldn't. Because people have still asked me about the quote unquote fist fight I was going to have with Joe. I couldn't beat him up in South Dakota because his body was failing him. That's why. So I couldn't fight a man that was down.
It would have been too easy of a fight.
Now Joe's calling the fist fights. I'm sure. I'm sure. You know what? Come on down, brother. You have my address.
I don't actually. I asked you for it, and you didn't give it to me.
Because you're trying to send me a gift.
Yeah, because I was trying to be a good friend.
I didn't need a gift from you. My gift is this show. How about that? That's the gift.
Pretty shitty gift.
But from the elite group, my guy, it's going to draw some ire from Joe, because he doesn't have the NFS draftable grade. But Tyrone Scott,
I think he's an underclassman. Wait, off the top of my head, I'm pretty sure he's not going to have the NFS grade.
He has fantastic hands, small forearm guy, and you know why I noticed that? Because his hands are massive.
Yeah,
that's why I noticed it.
That's a junior.
Okay,
so that's why.
Great, perfect. Doesn't matter. Small forearms, huge hands, spectacular catch machine. Can catch it in traffic, can seemingly run the whole route tree. He's a dude that I am very, very excited to watch on this list. Janke's gonna Janke. His little brother's same thing. But I
don't think he's a little brother, isn't it? A twin?
Is it a twin? Why is one better than the other?
There's Jalyn twins that are better than the other.
Or Jaden had more touchdowns last year. He had 9 touchdowns.
They do different things. Wait, let's not get distracted with the semantics.
I
didn't say that Scott wasn't good, though.
Hey, you kind of no-sold me.
I didn't no-sell you.
I was just saying, me, brother.
I think we need to acknowledge the prowess of Janke, because he is the only guy on here that is going to get drafted. I'm calling my shot now. The guy is going to get drafted. That is should be a level of certainty.
Why are you jinxing him?
Janke. I'm not jinxing him. I can't stake a claim. I can't. What kind of show would this be if I didn't?
Do you understand the show that this is?
Yeah, it's one where we should have
The
takes and stand behind them.
I made a take and I stood behind it, and you
he
said
might
because
maybe
it didn't
possibly
have the
get
scouters
drafted.
grade of America, then it didn't matter.
There's a slight possible chance that he could possibly be drafted in next year's NFL draft. Is that what you wanted me to say? Is that how I'm supposed to describe him? Scott, though, I'm remembering now, transferred from Central Michigan, so he's an FBS guy and had a really big first year last year. So nonetheless, though, I do think that Scott is good. I just think we need to acknowledge Janke is slightly ahead of him based on the NFL recognition.
You can acknowledge that.
Okay.
And I'm not a hater of Janke. I'm not. But
Sounds
I
like
found
you
my
are.
guy. I found my guy, and you found your guy, which is cool. And we don't always have to agree, but your early dismissal of my guy. Maybe I'm loyal to a fault.
Okay.
And that's what it is. I found my guy, I'm sticking with him.
Okay.
And you disrespected him, and that's fine.
So our great tier, understandably, like every single week, we're going to be missing guys that are going to have good years. And if you think we missed somebody, I'm always curious to hear, like, hey, bring this guy up, or pay attention to him during the season. I had a lot of people do that with the running back show. I had a Tennessee State coach send me a guy's name, like, hey, pay attention to him. I had a couple people, and now they're on my radar for the season. But the list of great tier guys, statistically not that as dominant, but are players that have been on the NFL radar and are on the NFL radar. I was actually shocked that Jaden Janke was on the NFL radar. He had a pretty high grade going into the season. Still a priority free agent, but still graded nonetheless. 41 receptions, 655 yards, 9 touchdowns. The other three guys, Mateo Tolea. Oh, man. Taleatu? Is that how we think you would pronounce it?
This is your
Mateo Taleatu, 42 receptions,
from your
500
school, bro.
from Portland State.
I'm not. Yeah, that's your
Portland
school.
State.
You got to know your guy.
573 yards, 3 touchdowns. Andre Iosivas from Princeton, 41 receptions, 703 yards, 5 touchdowns. And then the last one, Freddie Roberson from EWU, 49, 779 yards and 6 touchdowns. Wow, my brain is just not functioning in New Jersey.
Did you have a stroke?
I might have.
You got to let me know if you have a stroke, because then I'll call 911 for you.
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just tired. I don't like the East Coast time zone. Any thoughts on these guys?
He hurt my heart there. Yankee's good. He's got a good open field cutback move he uses a good amount. He's just like Janke. You know, they're very similar the way they play. Still has that same. I mean, it's like a clone. It's like a clone. And it's not a bad thing either. I mean, if South Dakota State's got 2 of these guys, it's not good for any defense. Didn't get any film on Talela 2 or Yosovit. I think the Princeton receiver was like a hurdler or a track guy in high school. Always good to be a multi-sport athlete. I'm always on board with that. And then Freddie Roberson looked a little stiff when he was running, but he also had some forgiveness also with Eric Barrier throwing him the ball. I think that helps him a lot. It'll be interesting.
It helps a lot of people.
Oh, God. You see Eric Barrier got his first professional touchdown this past week.
See, I love the fact that I don't mean to go off on a tangent as we do on the show all the time. Barrier decided not to wait around after he was with the Broncos for a brief minute with the rookie minicamp. He decided to say, you know what, I'm getting the opportunity to maybe get on the field in the USFL, and if the USFL folds, he's probably going to be one of the first people drafted in the XFL.
Sure. Do what Heineke did. Do what Younghoe Koo did. Do what PJ Walker did. Go there. You're still getting consistent tape. And I know you're not in front of NFL head coaches every day like you would be at practice, but as we know with football teams, the first team's getting the most amount of action and looks. So go ahead, get your live bullets, go out there in the USFL, ball out, and then someone else is going to pick you up. If you have a good, strong season in the USFL, you'll probably be floating around the NFL, or at least in conversation-wise, for 3 years, I would say.
Right.
So happy for him. The great tier wide receivers, not really super in love with them. It doesn't feel like our normal wide receiver shows where each year before this, we had been like, oh, we got this guy, and everybody was super
Yeah.
exciting. It's a little, and this
It's
could just
much
be
thinner. It's much thinner. No disrespect. Not saying that these guys aren't good, but I think we'd have more names, and this would be a longer list.
yeah.
But a lot of guys
In years
transfer.
past, it has been, and then but I think you made a go. If you send me a video of a guy that you want me to watch, I'll give you an honest reaction, breakdown, whatever. You put me on to somebody that you think is gonna break out, and because we are looking for it. It is an exciting position, so we do have to kind of keep a lookout for that.
Right. No, this group though, the great guys are good. But that is the shoddiest analysis I have. It's maybe one of my worst shows of the offseason.
What did I say one time? I think the quarterback has to play quarterback, or they have to be a quarterback.
You can't lose games and win in the NFL.
Yeah.
That's not you. That's Trent Dilfer. These guys are all talented. I don't think that they're as the elite group guys are in terms of their dominance.
Sure.
But they're players who could take that next step, and that's why they're getting the recognition. And they are on the radar because of their contributions so far and the recognition by NFL scouts.
Yeah, and then as always, someone's going to pop up. Multiple people will pop up, and we'll say, "Oh, there's a guy that we're going to have to put on our recap show at the end of the year, or our pre-draft prospect pre-show for the upcoming season." So it'll be fun. I mean, it's always fun.
It's always fun. Probably one statement that we both always say like a million times.
Sean and Joe McFarland just bombing at the end of this. Just absolutely
Thanks for tuning in.
Bombing. Go ahead.
I'm gonna go lay my head down for a little bit.
Yeah, get a little. Why don't you get a cool towelette for your dome
or a hammer? At Joe DeLeone at Sanderson Radio. Yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Hack City on YouTube. I'm sorry that you listened to this episode. What?
Oh, Believe merch for shirts.
Coming.
I just want to plug it.
We're gonna have an FCS shirt coming really soon.
I was just being company man. I like Eric Davis stuff.
No, don't buy any of the other shirts, especially the charity stripe ones. Don't buy those.
You don't need a charity stripe, but it's Friday Fool is always a good shirt.
Yeah. Oh, I endorse that. Former Jacksonville State, great.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say.
Exactly. It's technically an FCS shirt, technically speaking.
And this thing.
We don't get paid for it though. All right, folks. Thanks for tuning in. At Joe DeLeone, Sanderson Radio. You know the deal. Drive safe.